Hello guys, my name is Zepherus and welcome to this video where I will be telling you about the mysterious Oak Island money pit. Oak Island is, as the name suggests, a small island located in Mahone Bay on the south side of Nova Scotia, Canada. But what's this money pit? I've never heard of it. I don't blame you, it is quite an obscure story, so let me fill you in. No pun intended. Around 1795, a teenager named Daniel McGuinness observed lights coming from the island. He subsequently travelled out there, only to discover a circular depression in the clearing on the eastern end of the island. Next to this was a tree with a tackle block hanging on one of its branches. A tackle block, for those who don't know, is a piece of hardware used to lift heavy weights by hand. Suspicious, don't you think? Daniel McGuinness, with the help of friends Samuel Ball and Anthony Vaughan, dug out the depression and uncovered a thick layer of flagstones a couple feet below. As they dug through this, they discovered beneath it periodic layers of wooden logs at around every 3 meters. At 9 meters, they did give up. At this point, word started spreading that there must be something valuable buried down in the earth, like treasure or money. As a result, the pit was dubbed the Money Pit, a name which we still use today. 8 years after this first dig, the Onslow Company took over, in the hopes of uncovering riches. They managed to get down to a fairly deep 27 meters, before they too gave up hope. As they did so, the regular log layers continued, as well as deposits of coconut fibre and charcoal. Strange considering that coconuts don't tend to grow in Nova Scotia, more like the tropics. This must have been put there before the 1800s, which wasn't the most global period to say the least. Very peculiar indeed. But at this point is where things really get interesting, because at the 25-meter mark, or around 83 feet for those who prefer imperial measurement, a stone tablet was unearthed. A stone tablet with a coded inscription. This inscription was given to several cryptologists, codebreakers, and they translated it as, and I quote, 40 feet below, £2 million lie buried. The race was on. Unfortunately for those competing, the pit then promptly flooded back up to the 10-meter mark, ruining anyone's chances of getting rich quick. In 1849, the Truro Company dug back down to the 26-meter mark, whereupon the pit flooded again. Starting to see a pattern? So they tried a different approach. They started drilling. Probably a better way of doing it. According to the drillers, the drill, and I quote, passed through a wooden platform at 30 meters, or 98 foot, a 30 centimeter or foot-sized space, half a meter or 22 inches of what was best described as metal in pieces, 8 inches or 20 centimeters of more wood, another half a meter of metal fragments, 10 centimeters of more wood, another wooden layer, this time of spruce wood, and finally into clay, marking the end of the drill's depth capabilities. Very, very peculiar indeed. The next dig came during the American Civil War, funded by a newly founded company known as the Oak Island Association. This excavation promptly caused a violent collapse of air material into a hidden space beneath the shaft. This is either put down to be a natural air pocket, or perhaps an intentional booby trap. Who knows? Not me. As any treasure contained in this chamber would probably have been lost. Almost simultaneously, a pump engine that kept back the water exploded, killing one soul. This man was the first of 6 to die in the excavations for the search of the infamous treasure. Funds for this excavation promptly ran out in 1864. During this period, however, a defeat was reached, a location at which the treasure was said to lie. However, nothing was found, and so digging continued. Throughout the next several decades, many attempts were made to re-excavate the pit, with none making any headway. However, one of the latter failed attempts poured red paint down the shaft. Elsewhere on Oak Island, clouds of red paint began appearing, suggesting that this was indeed a booby trap, a purposefully dug shaft connecting the Atlantic Ocean to the pit. Whoever buried something here, they wanted it to stay that way. However, progress was finally made in 1931 when William Chappell bought the area and sunk a 50-meter shaft near to the original site of the 1895 pit. At 39 meters or 128 feet, he found artifacts such as an anchor, an axe, and a pickaxe, which thought to have originated in Cornwall, in the UK, 4,000 miles away. How was this possible? I don't think anyone knows that. As a direct result of dozens of official digs, and hundreds of unofficial ones, the area and all major landmarks nearby were completely obliterated. making it a lot harder to locate any position on old maps, let alone the one from the money pit. In the 1960s, 4 men died of oxygen deprivation digging for the legendary treasure. Despite this, excavations have continued and are continuing to find out, little by little, the possible location of the treasure, or even if this mythical wealth even exists. Nobody even knows for sure what this treasure is. Many theories suggest that it might be pirate treasure. Bit extreme. It might be the treasure of the Knights Templar. Very extreme. Or the Illuminati, which is just silly. Or the crown jewels of Mary Antoinette, which is actually surprisingly plausible. No one knows for sure, but boy can we speculate. My personal favourite is that the wooden remains are part of a Viking ship that sunk vertically over a sinkhole on the site, explaining the regular beams in the ground and how the artifacts got down so deep. Since the Vikings were also renowned travellers, this may explain the tools and coconut fibres, though they'd have to have gone a lot further than currently thought for the coconut fibres. However, it doesn't explain the message on the stone or the other pieces of evidence people have uncovered. Note, I don't actually believe this, it's just my favourite theory. However, there is a possibility that the entire thing is a red herring, or a wild goose chase. Why would the people who hid something so well leave prominent clues, aka the tackle block and the lights, perhaps to draw attention to the site? And why would the same people leave a stone saying the treasure was where they thought it was going to be? A reminder or motivation for the treasure hunters to keep going. It's very open to interpretation, so you can leave your opinion in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching. Did you like this video? It took me a lot of effort, so please let me know if you like it and want more. If you want to support me, any feedback or even a subscription would be greatly, and I mean greatly, appreciated. Anyways, I've been Zepherus.